It's Monday morning on Buckeye Breakdown, and that means only one thing. It's time to look at the tape. Let's see if the Ohio State Buckeyes played as well and as poorly at times as it felt in real time, and certainly during our What We Learned podcast yesterday. We've got lots of game clips pulled up for you to go through some of the things we really liked about the Buckeyes and a few areas where we think they can be a bit better. Coming up next on Monday morning's edition of Buckeye Breakdown.
We've got the whole crew together as we cover Ohio State with our instant analysis from Ohio State.
There's something that doesn't feel right.
Unbelievable effort from him today. Is E.J. Liddell going to crack the first team All-Big Ten?
I think he can be the guy. I'm not trying to start a quarterback controversy.
He seems to have the durability. He certainly has the toughness. This is the question on a lot of people's minds here. Welcome to Buckeye Breakdown.
Well, good morning, everybody, and happy Labor Day Monday. If this is the first time you're joining us this season, glad to have you. I'm Brendan Gulick, along with Anthony Moeglin. We're live at 7 a.m. every weekday and certainly have lots of coverage planned for you on Saturdays and Sundays as Ohio State gets ready for each week. And we will use Mondays to keep looking back on the previous opponent since, for the most part, folks are still talking about what they saw last weekend when you're having your conversations with friends and coworkers and whatnot on Mondays. So today we'll put a bow on our coverage from week one by taking a look at some of the game film and figuring out, okay, what went really right and where were some of the areas that the Buckeyes need to get substantially better. You can watch this particular podcast streaming live on YouTube. We rip the audio from all of our podcasts and post them afterward, frankly, except for this one, because we're going to show you so much video. I'm not sure it makes a ton of sense to also add in just an audio-only stream of watching a bunch of video highlights. So this will be the only one that you don't get in the normal podcast feed. But otherwise, we're available wherever you like to find your favorite podcasts. And BuckeyesNow.com is your home for all the latest through the Sports Illustrated Media Group. All right, Anthony, what do you think so far? Just top of your head when you went back and watched through some of the game film. Do you have any overarching thoughts as we get ready to dive into this?
Yeah, the overarching theme that I take away from Saturday's performance is that the people grading Ohio State around a C or a B are kind of right on. This was a game that there was a lot left to be desired on the field. Certainly some really, really good things and some things that weren't so good. But as you'll see here once we get into it, it's nothing that was incorrectable. Everything that was a mistake was something that can be improved upon. It wasn't anything that it was like, hey, this is a big glaring issue. Everything can be coached. Everything can be corrected. And I do expect those things to take place this coming week and the weeks following because a lot of good was on the tape, but there was just some things that could have been much better and would have made it look so much different if maybe one or two decisions were made a little bit differently. So I'm excited to get in and show our viewers really what I saw and from our perspective where we think things can improve.
All right. This is year 4 of the Buckeye Breakdown podcast, but it's the first time we've ever done this. So bear with us, but I think this is going to work as well as we've drawn it up. Those are famous final last words.
Hey, famous final last words. Let's get into the film
right in here.
Let's get right into the film room here. So the way I built this for our followers here is I went in this first one, just a little bit more quarterback focused, offensive focused, since that was a big area of discussion over the past couple of days. So went in, watched all the offensive snaps, and picked a handful that I thought were really good and a handful that I thought were bad, and there could be some learning that goes along with it. And I want to talk through it like we're in the film room on Sunday. The guys were in the room yesterday, and I wanted to discuss it like the Coach Hartline would be saying right to Kyle's face, right, while they're in the film room. So that's kind of the aim here. So first clip we want to hit here, first drive of the game. You can see on the bottom of the screen, it's our first drive of the game, 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's 4th and 2. Why I love this play is because it's Kyle McCord's first drive. This is a huge pressure situation and a really good opportunity to keep a drive alive. So it's very simple play here, right? We could bring our guy in motion, throw him right into the flat, give him an accurate ball, and G. Scott's able to get up the sidelines. One of the big areas of focus that you'll see is that's kind of consistent is accuracy. What could go wrong here? You see this a lot. You saw it a little bit last night, even in that late night game. But if you can give your guy a runner's ball, that gives him the ability to make yards after the catch. And you do that here, very accurate. And G. Scott's able to get up the sidelines to move the stick. So really good. First drive, love what you see there. And now we can continue forward. All right, next clip. This is obviously 4th down and 2. This is a big play. This was the interception. We discussed it just a little bit yesterday, but I love the ability to get to show kind of what we were talking about, from what this play happened. So right here, Chip Trainum playing fullback. We saw that a lot yesterday. What we're going to do here is we're going to fake. We're going to do a play action to the right side. And the idea is to get Chip right into the flat and give him an opportunity to get up the field and go make a play. However, I want you to focus on the defensive player right underneath the G in Big Ten. He's going to be your cornerback, and I think he saves a touchdown here. As you can get here, as you see it, get into the snap. He chips, no pun intended, Chip Trainum and gets him off balance. Now, if Chip Trainum's able to get past this, make some kind of a slip or a juke move, he is gone. Right? There's nobody left. Nobody up here. There's nobody anywhere. If he's able to do that, he's gone and in the end zone. However, he's unable to do that. This cornerback makes a great play. And now you're going to see another problem in this play. So the problem isn't the interception, okay? The problem is that these two guys are in the exact same spot. So they're in the same catch zone. So that allows our safety here, who is their leader of the defense, to guard both guys. So now you're thinking, as Kyle's making a play here, this is dead. Chip's gone. He's covered up now. I can't run it anywhere because I got two guys facing me. My only option is to try to make a play. However, both my guys are in the same catch area. So I hit play, and that ball gets jumped. We've said it a couple times now. This play wasn't the end of the world. Yes, it shows up as an interception. But after you look at it, it's Kyle trying to make a play. He was you're backed up. It's 4th down. Hey, I got to try to make a play for our team to keep a drive alive and to keep going to score. However, everything kind of got cut down, and it was the last-ditch effort. And on 4th down, you're not throwing that ball away. You're just going to give your guys a chance. And I believe that he did that or tried to do that on this play here.
So without knowing the actual, exact makeup of that play, I mean, so 84 is Joe Royer and 8 is Cade Stover, both a tight end there. Do you look at that play and say, hey, somebody ran the wrong route, or do you not like the design of the play? Where's the mistake there?
Yeah, I don't love the design because of what happened. Like, hey, if number 1 gets taken away, what do I do next? Now, here's where Cade comes from. So Cade's on the top of your screen right inside the hash. My guess is he just drifted. Okay, so if I were to just guess, he was supposed to just hook up right over top of the ball and be an outlet for Kyle. But watch him drift through this. So he gets into the middle, and if he just stops right here and just works with him and works across the screen, now you have an actual option. Instead, he continues to drift up the field. My guess is he's supposed to be somewhere in here, working his way with the quarterback and being an option. But he kind of drifts up the field and takes himself out of the play a little bit.
Makes a ton of sense. All
yeah.
Right. Well, and again, we said it. Look, interceptions are not good. You don't want to turn the ball over. But in terms of mistakes, that one seemed like a fairly low mistake. It would have gotten magnified if nobody tackled the guy and he housed it, right? But it almost worked out like a missed field goal. It wasn't good to turn it over, but it didn't feel like the end of the world.
Absolutely. And it was 4th down. You got to make a play. Imagine what we'd be hearing if he threw that ball out of bounds. At least we were trying to get something going and to make a play. So, all right, penthouse or outhouse to the penthouse. That one, not a great clip, not so bad. This one, I think, is one of the best clips of the day. So right here, you got 3 guys at the bottom of your screen. And oftentimes what this is called is a pure progression, where you have an option up top where you have a guy, running some kind of a solo route, a comeback, a go, a post maybe. He's your first option. You start your eyes there. And then as coverage dictates, you get off of it to number 2, 3, and 4 in a progression. And watch Kyle work through this progression here, and you're able to see what happens when you're able to do that. So they bluff a blitz. All right, they back out of it. Kyle starts to the right and gets back to number 2 in the progression and just delivers a rocket to Cade Stover across the middle. And now he's able to make a big play going up the seam. It's one of my favorites because we've said it a bunch. You love your tight end as a quarterback, especially as a young quarterback, but getting through a progression and delivering accurate football oftentimes leads to big plays. You know, the reason he can do that, the line does a really nice job up front, but he makes an accurate play or an accurate throw, and it turns a 10-yard gain into a 25-yard gain because that ball is right on the face mask, and it gives your guys the chance to make a play after catching the football.
It was a great throw.
Yeah, great throw. That's this throw. So we cut this one from the back. This is my favorite throw of the day. If I were to rank throws, and you'll see it from here, it's just awesome. But one thing that you can also focus on, we talked yesterday and we talked Saturday about it, is the difference in the Ohio State offense. So, you know, obviously we saw a lot of I formation stuff, and we talked about how they're going to operate their offense through the run game. The run game is going to be the driver of this offense. And you can see here, we're going to go off of play action. You're going to have 2 deep routes, and then you're going to see Julian Fleming come into this picture here. And this shot that we deliver is pretty awesome, right? So if we pause it right here, here's Julian Fleming. It's a little grainy, but here's Julian Fleming here. We got 4 defenders. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders, 1 window. This takes some guts to make this throw, and we deliver a shot. And when you do that, especially with these guys, this gives them the ability to not only make a play, but make a play after the catch. Like, I could watch this throw over and over and over again. But what he's able to do by delivering it where he did is he actually throttled Julian down, which means slowed him down and took a hit away from him. This guy was coming with bad intentions. He throttles him down, kind of puts it on his back shoulder, and allows him to stop, which allows him to catch the football, make a couple guys miss, and again, turn 20 yards into 25 yards. We'll see it one more time here from the back. And that's just ripped. He slows him down, makes a couple guys miss, and now we're going. This is awesome.
I remember watching that throw in real time and thinking to myself that my immediate reaction was that he actually led him into that hit, thinking that he was going to get Julian hurt if you're not careful there. But in watching it in this way, I kind of like the way you explained it, because the first thing I noticed when I saw it in real time was that cornerback on the right side of the screen that you're talking about coming in on the play. I actually thought he had to slow down because he could have easily get called for targeting if he would have, continued through on that.
Yeah, think about it, right? He's seeing a guy moving full speed ahead at him. He picks his spot. Like, okay, here's where we're going to meet. And this ball takes him down, takes Julian down just a step, and it allows him to miss that hit, because that would have been a big one. So this was a big time throw by Kyle McCord, and this is one you build on. This is one probably is first up in the film room. Like, hey, great job. Now let's get to work on some of the other stuff. But this is one you can. This is one you can definitely build on. All right, next one here. Third quarter, we got 2nd and 9. This is an awesome clip. So I want to show it from here because I think this is really good. Then I want to show it from the backside. So everyone's kind of, belly hurt about the looks that Marvin Harrison got. Okay, he got 8 targets, and we thought we should have went to him more. So this is a really mature play that we're going to show here, because you could have gone to Marvin, but we use Marvin as like I don't want to say a decoy, but he draws so much attention that you use him against the defense. So what you're going to see here from their defense, Marvin's over here on the left side of your screen. We're going to get a corner blitz, okay? So when you get a corner blitz, the safety fills over top, and this safety is protecting over the top of our other receivers. Now watch how the play fake draws our linebackers up, and then we sneak Cade Stover up the center here. This is a great view of it. So you can't see the blitz, but you can see the safety going up this way and the safety going up that way. And then Cade Stover's ripped right down the middle. Okay, this is an awesome play design, and it was perfectly timed, because you get that corner blitz and you get that middle of the field vacated. So you can see here, look at the stripe on Kyle's helmet. He's looking directly at this safety. If this safety were to stay in the middle, you know he's throwing to Marvin over here, but the safety goes to the numbers. He knows right away, hey, I'm turning this thing. I'm going 1, 2, 3. I'm going to hit my third step, and Cade's getting one right on his face mask. And exactly what he does. It's the biggest play of the game, 49 yards, ripped right down the middle of the field.
That's a great throw. And to your point on the play action, the linebacker just in front of and from our angle just to the left of, that guy who's on the hash there. I don't believe that was Casey.
No.
You know, it's literally one step, right? He doesn't have to come charging hard thinking that Chip's getting that ball. All Cade Stover need is one step, and he's past him.
Yep. You're even right now. They say if he's even, he's leaving, right? So he's even with these guys. He's probably even a little bit past him. You know you have the advantage. And Cade's such an elite athlete that you just got to give him the football, and it's game over. So this was an awesome play design, the one that I loved, and really, really good execution. And it shows that, hey, Kyle McCord isn't just forcing the football to Marvin Harrison. All right, next clip here. Third quarter, 2nd and 1. We talk about goal line, how important it is. This one, we run this one in for a touchdown, but I just want to show what defenses are going to do to Marvin Harrison, because I remember watching this one live and being like, hey, let's give Marvin a shot here. But watch this safety here. This is just funny to watch and just kind of give you reference to how Marvin Harrison's going to be defended on the goal line and in the middle of the field. Like, this is what they used to do to Calvin Johnson. Like, he just dead sprints, has no responsibility other than, hey, we're doubling Marvin Harrison. Like, literally they're just straight up running to him. That's important. Yeah. Like, hey, if you had a slant up here, you're dead. If you had a fade up here, you're dead, because that corner on the top, his role and his job is to make sure nothing happens. But because of that, now you got 9 guys in the box, or you're accounting for 9 guys. So now it's 9 on 9. It opens up the run lanes a little bit better inside, because now your 2 guys, your quarterback and your receiver, are canceling out 2 guys, basically blocking these 2 guys, and the rest of the box is responsible for the rest in there. So you're able to, because of that, able to run one in pretty easily and get a touchdown there. But I thought it was funny to show, hey, this is how it's going to look, because it's not always set hut and throw a fade to Marvin Harrison. It's a little bit tougher than that.
Yeah, and you know, to your point again, so much of his value can come in just the threat that he is. Mm-hmm. You know what it looks like when he goes off, and he's certainly going to be at the top of the scouting report for every opposing team. Don't let 18 beat us. So figure out ways to put him in positions where, if he's willing to be patient, and Kyle McCord will find a way to get him the ball, but if Marv's willing to be patient, it could create some good advantages for this offense.
No question. All right, next play here. Got a couple left. So fourth quarter, game's kind of in hand already. By this point, we already know what's going on. Our defense has really been rolling. We're kind of packing up shop. Just let's get out of here with no injuries. But I love this play because this is a glimpse of what Kyle McCord can be. So 3rd and 8, and let's give him a chance to make a play. All right, so we bring our guy in motion. Basically a normal drop. Nobody's open. Okay, good job up front, giving some time. But now sometimes, Kyle McCord, you have to make a play, and you're able to dodge a guy and deliver an accurate football on 3rd and 6. There's nothing fluky about this particular play. This just is a really good job. This is a 5-star guy making a 5-star play, okay? Nothing's open, and now it's on me to make a play. I'm going to juke one guy out here and just buy myself enough time. Again, we've talked about it a number of times. He's not going to be the guy who, makes a juke move and goes for 80 yards, but he's able to make just enough space that he can have enough room to get his hips through a throw and deliver one on 3rd and 6 that moves the sticks. Now, why I love this play is that I don't care what the time and the score is. If pretend this is in the 2nd quarter and we're tied up, or this is in the 4th quarter and it's a 1-score game, moving the chains on 3rd down at the middle of the field is huge, because now you get into scoring territory. This is a huge, huge play, and one to really grow on and a really good job by Kyle McCord here to make a play out of nothing. Like, this didn't look good. We were, you would have hated to punt here, but he's able to step up. You use his athleticism to make a play and move the sticks. Run it one more time. Just a really nice move and a really accurate throw. And that's where you can see him starting to get comfortable. He's starting to feel comfortable in what he's doing. Okay, 4th and 9. I talked about this play yesterday. Love this play. Love this throw. And I think I want to go hand up and say I was a little bit wrong in what I said. So this is a standard play that you get a lot of times when you get man coverage. Okay, so in 3rd downs and 4th downs, when you game plan against a team, you know what you're going to get on those downs. So Ohio State knows they're getting man coverage, and they know that on the running back, the guy guarding him is either going to be this linebacker or this defensive end. So what they do, this is a very common play that a lot of teams run, but they'll run him on a wheel route. They'll run number 3 on a wheel route, and then you'll run a shallow cross is what it's called, getting across the field as fast as possible by Marvin Harrison. And then this guy runs a pick route. So he just runs across the field. He just runs across the field and is trying to get in the way of defenders while they're out there. So we'll run this. Okay, so he's trying to get in the way of defenders. All right, so and then behind that you have a over and then a deep over. So your read here is 1 to the wheel route, 2 to the crosser, 3 to the middle over, and then 4 to the deep over. Okay, so this is awesome by Kyle. He steps back. He's confident in his decision. Gets to his 3rd step. And he's decided to throw the wheel route. Now, you could say, hey, Kyle, get off that, drop one down here to Marvin Harrison and let him try to make a play. However, Marvin Harrison's got to break 2 tackles to get this 1st down on 4th and 9, where if we deliver an accurate throw to our wheel route that's open, we're going to be able to move the sticks. So he does that, decides that, and this is one of the better, more accurate throws of the day for him. It was decisive, and he got it up and got it down and put a perfect throw on. And sometimes that's a hard catch for a running back, so you have to give it a really good throw. And this throw is absolutely perfect. Mayan's able to catch it, toe tap, and move the chains on 4th and 9 in the red zone.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd say sometimes. I mean, I think that's a tough catch. It was an extremely well executed play. I remember watching it in real time, thinking, "Gosh, that's a really good touch throw." And frankly, maybe even more impressive by Mayan, because if you look at where he catches that ball. The ball is thrown in the shadows. He's catching it in the sun, which means that sun is really low. That's a tough play to go up and not lose the ball and, keep track of where your feet are. That was really impressive.
Really impressive and a great throw. And this comes on the same drive of the last play we just showed, where he moved the ball on 3rd and 9, also moves it on 4th and 9, and it turns into points. Now, from here, we got a lot to work on in the low red area, scoring touchdowns instead of field goals. But this is a great throw and an encouraging throw from my perspective. All right. Let me get to the next play here. There we go. Okay. This one here, need to get this ball out. All right. So this is one of the bad ones that we're going to look at. So we drop back to pass. Okay. Oftentimes especially when we have the horses that we do on the outside, there's going to be a lot of respect given to them, where coverage is going to be very, very deep. And when you do that, you have to understand your check downs are huge, huge chunk plays. Okay. So you can see, look at these linebackers running. Okay. These guys are already at 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Okay. So Kyle's dropping back. He steps up. Now they're totally out of the screen. If we get this ball to Trey Henderson, I know we spike it here. If we get this ball to Trey Henderson, this is as good as a running back being in space as you'll ever see. We saw how hard he is to tackle. If you just put this ball on his numbers where he can catch it, he can get upfield, and now he's one-on-one in open space. This is one really bad one where you say, hey, this play needs to be better, because this what we're looking at here is a potential 20, 30-yard gain on 1st and 10 on the plus side of the field. If we get 30 yards here, we're on our first drive, and we're going in. We're already in the red zone. Even if we get 10 or 20 yards, we're making a good move. But this is one you just cannot miss because you did a great job not forcing them down the field. You stepped up. Just gather your feet and just deliver one out there to your running back in space, and we have a huge, huge play on our hands.
Yeah, that was certainly probably one of the 5 most, frustrating moments of the game for me.
Yeah, it's just like
in real time, and you're like, that has to be completed.
You just have to get it here. And now this one is
real quick. Can you get your screen back to full zoom in?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, here, let's zoom in a little bit more. All right. Perfect. All right. This one here, 3 plays left here. So this is a bad one. Okay. This is one where I'll show the back angle or show the front angle, right? We try to rip one loose. Like, okay, we take a shot, but this is one you're going to want back. Okay. So you have a 2-man route. Again, we're throwing everything off of play action. Okay. Play action, play action. We're trying to take a shot here, but this is one where it's like, dude, what'd you see? Okay. I'm going to stop the screen here. What do you see, Brennan? What do you see at the bottom of your screen? I got
wide open Marvin Harrison.
I got Marvin Harrison on a curl route here. Wide open. And now this is a learning one. This isn't horrible. This isn't like something that you watch and you're like, hey, this is horrible. This is a guy trying to make a play, take a shot, throw a touchdown when you just don't need it. You don't need to. Your eyes should be right on our middle linebacker because he's one-on-one with his guy and we're one-on-one down here. This is the only guy who can take this away. It's called a Tampa 2 player. He's playing the middle of the field. So you watch him. He's got his back turned and he's running. Hey, flip your hips and let's rip a seed right here to Marvin Harrison, who's just, wide open. Instead, we force one deep. It's incomplete, no harm, no foul, but could have been a nice chunk play for Marvin Harrison to get him going. And then
yeah, that was fairly early in the game too. So maybe you factor in some adrenaline or
trying to make
some nerves, but the desire to say like, hey, I haven't talked to Kyle about this specifically, but he won the job, and Ryan Day says it's not a sizable gap. So you got a strong arm, you want to go hit a home run, and maybe that's all that was.
Yeah, that's all that one was there. Real quick, last one I want to hit on. We touched on it yesterday. A little bit of protection stuff. Okay, so this is a big one. This is the exact play we're talking about, and it's all going to be up on the top of our screen here. So we talked about how the offensive line potentially struggled. There are some grades out there that weren't all that great, but this is early on in the game, right? We're driving here. It's right at the end of the first half. So first half's happened. We're trying to build some momentum, trying to build some trust, and this is one that could potentially hurt it. So what we're in here is a 61 protection is what I used to call it. I'm not sure what their exact terminology is, but basically what it is our right tackle and right guard are in man-to-man versus the guys in front of them. And then we're just combo blocking our 3 guys here and our running back for their 3 guys and their 4th add-on, okay? So what we're looking at, all right, we're right tackles man-to-man against this guy, our right guards man-to-man here, and then our center guard and tackle have to combo any kind of stunt that is running here, any kind of twists or loops or anything. And then the running back is responsible for any added pressure. Okay. So you're going to see 5 guys do it right and 1 guy do it wrong here. Okay. So our right tackle and right guard, they pick it up. We have a twist stunt going on in here that isn't passed off well. Our running back gets his guy. Okay. And you're going to see, we're just a touch late on our left tackle getting the extra add-on. And what that results in is a shot right to Kyle McCord's back. That we got lucky. This wasn't a fumble. It was an incomplete pass, but maybe a step quicker, and that could potentially have been trouble. But this goes back to the trust thing. Like, hey, I got to trust what I'm seeing in front of me from my left tackles and my right tackle. And we do a bad job of passing off a stunt, and it leads to me taking one right in the back, which does factor in as the game continues to go on.
What do you think about the Carnell Tate play that obviously they're showing the replay of right there? I don't know if you have that one cut, but
So you were right. Okay, so yes, we have a potential for a targeting play, but I think this is on Kyle McCord, and you'll see why here. This is one where you drop back and you have your 5-star guy has to be 5-star accurate. So we have a corner out here, and this ball, you can see he's throwing it right now. this ball needs to be put on the sideline, okay? So you're aiming to drop this ball right on those hash marks, right on the sideline, so your guy can run underneath of it, catch, toe tap, and get out of bounds. So if that's what I'm aiming for, look where we put it. Okay, he puts it on the inside, probably 2 yards away from where he wants it to be. So I'll pause it. So if we're aiming, So if we're aiming to have this thing on the sidelines and we miss it here, okay, if we have this on the sidelines, Carnell's able to run underneath of it, catch it, and he doesn't even get hit, okay? This guy's flying down. Because we miss it inside, and we miss it so much inside that he has to jump and turn, call this a hospital pass, right? You leave him hanging out to dry, and he really does. I mean, that's a shot. Yes, it probably is targeting, and it probably should have been thrown. However, in my opinion, that's an inaccurate throw by Kyle McCord that if he puts it on the sidelines, we're safe, and he catches it, we're in the red zone, and no one even gets tackled, but he misses it inside and sets up a huge shot that Carnell Tate takes.
All right, so we've gone through a whole bunch of plays here, and I think this was really, really good. I'm glad we did that, and we'll do this each week. But, in going back and watching the game, while we didn't cut a whole bunch of the ones that were problematic, did you see any themes down in the short yardage, 3rd and 4th downs, or in the red zone, things that, consistently stood out to you were like, man, that is a glaring hole?
Yeah, for me, the box is just so crowded. I showed that clip of Marvin getting double teamed. And we've been kind of used to in the past seeing a lot of receivers on the field and it not being so clogged up. But when you go in that high formation, you bring a tight end in, maybe 2 tight ends, and maybe a fullback, that box just gets really crowded. And then you try to run it in there. It's really hard to do. So what I would like to see down in the red area is 2 things. One, spread it out just a little bit more. Maybe don't rely so heavily on the big hog mollies. But also, we need someone to make a play. Kyle, there was a couple down there that Kyle was forcing some throws and trying. But I'd like to see him make a step up. Like, hey, you get in the red zone, you get in the low red area, you got to be a star. That doesn't mean be selfish, but you need to be super accurate. You need to deliver good footballs and make good decisions. And so those are the 2 things I'd like to see a little bit different from a formation perspective. And then I'd like to see Kyle take a step in the right direction of being like, hey, I'm a dude. I need to go make plays and score a touchdown.
And to me, those are the things that we can feel like when we look at film next week and the following week. Like, that's not so much a personnel thing where, you expect you're bigger, faster, stronger, you're going to beat a guy from a non-Power 5 school. Those are the kinds of things I think that will show up on film to say, like, okay, look, has there been progress here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can absolutely see it. And those are also really good opportunities to try different things. Like, hey, we're going to get down here. We're going to try some stuff. We're going to try new things. We're going to, hey, how does our shotgun look in the low red zone? How does 11 personnel look, or 12 or 10? You'll see some different changes and some different experiments, if you will, down in the low red area. But those are 2 themes I'd like to see take a step in the right direction.
Great job. Good work there. That was awesome. And I hope everybody got a lot out of that. I think it's never as good as you think, or never as bad as you think in the heat of the moment. There were a lot of people that were clamoring for Kyle to never pick up a football again, and I think that was just a little ridiculous.
Yep.
He certainly had some things he needs to work on, but I think there were enough moments of promise there that looked really good. So,
really good. And you have time to correct it, right? This is a long season. You'd like to see a huge step being taken next week, and you will. All that stuff we showed today, teachable things, teachable errors, and you just get better from them. You just say, hey, you get better from it and you move forward. So I think a lot of stuff to be encouraged about.
All right, so that kind of puts a bow on our coverage of Week 1 against the Indiana Hoosiers. Buckeyes are 1-0, and they'll have an opportunity to play Youngstown State. The Penguins coming to the Shoe. The first home game of the year is coming up on Saturday afternoon. We can't wait to kick off our coverage tomorrow as we'll start to introduce Youngstown State to you. So please keep it here for all your latest Ohio State content on Buckeye Breakdown Podcast, certainly BuckeyesNow.com. Please subscribe to the channel if you like the show. We'd appreciate that as well. And look forward to seeing you the rest of the week. Have a great week, everybody.